I deal with cupcakes all the time, especially a certain individual cupcake. And I like to think that he is the extremity of Christianity. But every once in a while, I've come across cupcakes that pretend like they aren't cupcakes. What is up, you heathens and demons, you sinners and saints, you beautiful, blasphemous bastards? Welcome back to The Rage. I am your boy, The Raging Atheist. And today, we're gonna look at a couple new cupcakes. First, I gotta give that shout out to my patrons. You guys are the shit, and you got new Patreon content coming. Planning on doing almost daily text post, letting you guys know how I'm doing, what I'm doing. Weekly live streams. Edited videos coming back to Patreon first. Thank you for your support. Alright, so I recently went into a Smoky Saint stream with Mr. Batman, and Mr. Batman showed that he was Matt Powell Jr. I already highlighted it, but I highlighted it in a really long open room Smoky Saint stream. And now I want to highlight it on its own, because people shouldn't go into debates with Mr. Batman thinking he's just this really wacky Christian, because he has really harmful ideals. As harmful as the most extreme within Christianity itself. And I want you to take particular note of how Smoky Saint does not condemn Mr. Batman. In fact, Smoky Saint pretty much goes along with it.
But no, he looks very, very down on Matt Powell, because they've all painted Matt Powell as this I don't know thing that I don't know what. I'm not entirely sure. Like, they think he really wants to actively murder all homosexuals or something. I'm not sure what they're trying to really ultimately painting him as. But yeah, no, it's. But Peterson's having some conniptions here.
Smoky Saint, we don't have to paint Matt Powell as anything. Matt Powell does all that painting himself. Matt Powell literally calls for the genocide, the legal genocide of all gay people. Matt Powell doesn't go around saying, hey, I want to go around killing gay people. Matt Powell thinks it should be a legal thing, a theocracy, that the government puts them to death. That's what he advocates for. I have never said otherwise. Unfortunately, Mr. Batman's going to take this opportunity to show Matt Powell how Mr. Batman is actually a better Matt Powell.
Well, may I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Can you murder somebody who is worthy of the death penalty?
I wouldn't say so.
Great.
Well,
so it's not that you can murder homosexuals, that they would be worthy of the death penalty.
You heard that right. You heard that perfectly right, my viewers. Mr. Batman just said you cannot possibly murder a homosexual person because they would be deserving of the death penalty. Now, that raises some fucking problems.
Well, there's got to be due process. Torah requires due process by 2 or 3 witnesses, so if you skip that, it's still murder.
I agree wholeheartedly. But if you have those 2 or 3 witnesses, and those 2 or 3 witnesses are willing to testify in front of the Sanhedrin and cast the first stone, then this is an acceptable way of putting these people to death.
Well,
I see something, folks. My murder quota for the week's all used up.
So I'm going to give Nicholas Whitmire there some credit, because Nicholas Whitmire is coming in and trying to be like, dude, what the fuck? You got to have due process. You can't just kill gay people because they're gay. They need to do something wrong. And Mr. Batman's like, yeah, you're right. If you have 2 people able to point that finger at them and say, yeah, they gay, and they're willing to cast that first stone, well, then it's perfectly biblical to murder those fucking people.
Oh, I'm not. I've just begun.
I think implementation of theocratic laws in a non-theocratic government is a sticky area to measure into. But anyway, that's not the point. I get where you're coming from, Mr. Batman. I understand what you're, and especially for Torah keeping, you're definitely being consistent on that point. I'll give it to you. Rage. By the way, Rage, maybe Rage wants to come in and have a quick word about that. I'll actually stop this thing we're doing. Rage, if you want to come in and have a quick word about that, I will let you in. You can pop in for a moment. Mr. Batman might even like a...
So Smokey's gonna sit there and essentially tell Mr. Batman, you know what, you're right, I can't really argue with that. Hey, Rage, I see you're in the side chat. I know you want to come in and yell at this stupid fucker, but Smokey doesn't call him a stupid fucker. Smokey agrees. Smokey says, you're right. And for that, Smokey should be ostracized. It should be Christians calling out the most extreme within their religion. Smokey, do you agree with the genocide of all gay people? Because I think you might.
Come on,
Mr. Batman's giving you
there we
cover
go.
fire, Smokey.
All right.
Mr. Batman's like,
We're gonna have to. All right, we're gonna have to postpone our review here.
Enter into the Bat Cave because the Batman will not harm you. I promise.
We got
Wait,
some
may I
stuff.
momentarily speak on what John Peterson was just saying before we move on?
Not before I get to call
Real
Mr.
quick.
Batman a fucking homophobe.
All right. Well, let's. Okay. So
Robin's right next
okay.
to
So that
Batman.
was done.
Look, Nicholas
Okay.
is right next to Batman. It's like Batman
Let's-
and Robin.
So I finally come in the room after being triggered as fuck in the side chat because nobody is challenging this person. You know, Nicholas Whitmire did for a brief moment, but he was overruled by Smokey. So I come in the room and I do what all of them should have done in the first place. I call Mr. Batman a fucking homophobe, and Smokey throws me back room. I really have to ask Smokey Saint, did it occur to you ever to maybe throw Mr. Batman back room so you can inform him that you don't want a reprehensible douchebag on your stream and we won't have any talk about murdering gay people? But no, Smokey didn't do that. He threw me backstage for calling him a fucking homophobe.
Yeah. No.
It is what it is.
It was full of wonderful moments. Okay, so all right, so here we got Rage. Rage, we gotta do
it's
time
really now.
responses at least here now. So you gotta like be at least reasonable in the exchange.
Did Mr. Batman just say that why would you be mad about murdering people that deserve the death sentence in reference to homosexual people?
No, sir. I said,
Yeah, I
there's
think that's
not
what you
murder.
just said.
No, sir. Please pay attention. I said that murder is a taking of an innocent life. If you are guilty of homosexuality, your life is forfeit, and you have levied righteous judgment upon your life. That's why it is forfeit.
Yeah, you're hearing it right. Mr. Batman says it's quite okay for you, Christian, to go out and murder gay people so long as you have two people pointing that finger ready to throw that first stone. That it's not even murder if you do that. If you were to go and take those lives, if you were to beat them to death, if you were to shoot them in their heads, that's not murder because, they're gay. So you are calling for the genocide of gay people?
No, sir. Genocide is a whole people group. There's a very few people in the people group that are homosexual, less than 2%. That 2% would not do us any harm if they were to be done away with.
That's called
What
wanting the death of
are
them.
you
And we can
fucking
get rid of
saying
them.
right now?
I'm saying that if you wish to engage in perversion, and perversion goes against the natural order of things, if we were to take out the perversion,
So
then
you're
our
Matt Powell.
natural
You're-
order.
are you
I'm
NIFB?
still talking.
Like killing
Are you
I'm still
NIFB?
talking, sir.
You heard it. Wiping out that 2-3% of the world population that's gay, that's not going to hurt nobody. And that's definitely not genocide. You heard it. You heard it from the lips of Mr. Batman himself. You heard it justified from the lips of Smokey Saint himself. You heard it. So what are you going to do now? Are you going to go into these debates with this man, this silly, silly little Christian who seems so easy to pawn, and not call him out for what he is? What are you going to do now? Is my question. As always, this is The Rage. I am the Raging Atheist. If you like these videos, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, share me on your social media. It is the only way we will continue to grow. Tell all your friends about the work I'm doing here. And if you're a skeptic, be a skeptic and don't be afraid. I'll see you soon.